Jim here from 3J Music, and this is a Stratocaster. Most of us probably love them. Most of us have more than likely had more than one of them. And there's a 50-50 chance right now that if you're watching this, you're probably sticking your nose up at this for one reason. The name on the headstock. You saw the thumbnail, that's why you're here. It's my opinion that it's time for Fender to dump Squier guitars. Sort of. I bought this guitar a couple of months ago when Squier and Fender were doing their big holiday sales, and since then it's appeared in a few of my videos, and this is a great guitar. In spite of the name on the headstock or where it says it's made on the back of the headstock, this is a great guitar. Sounds great, plays great, feels like a Stratocaster. It is a Stratocaster. This is the problem. Because of the name on the headstock, there's a good chance half of you see this as junk, not good enough, beginner guitar, whatever. I've personally owned dozens of Fenders and Squiers over the years, most of their models. I want to talk about the first Fender that I bought back in 1995. As a young guitar player, I didn't know much about anything. I knew that the local music store was blowing out Fenders at about $320, I believe. They had a black and white Fender Stratocaster, and I had a little money to burn, so I bought one. The thing about that Fender Stratocaster is it was made in Mexico, and up on the edge of the headstock it said Squier Series on it. Again, I didn't know anything about anything. I bought it. I had that guitar for 20 years. That was a great guitar, played great. I later did change the pickups. But for 20 years, that thing was rock solid. Those guitars aren't that easy to come by anymore. And the people who know don't care about the fact that it says Squier Series on the headstock. Up in the little corner, in little writing, it says Fender where it counts. Before being made in Mexico, I believe there were Squier Series also made in Korea for a short time. Early imports. Fender's done imports throughout the years, not just American models. Fenders have been made in Korea, Fenders have been made in Mexico, Fenders have been made in China. And it's about time to change the big bold Squier in the headstock and maybe go back to Squier Series. Somewhere around 2017, some people would say that PRS guitars wised up and realized the gold mine that they had on their hands with the SE series. The SE series used to just say SE. Somewhere around 2017, they changed and started putting the regular signature Paul Reed Smith logo on the headstock to match the core models. There's tons of guitar brands. Ibanez doesn't change the headstock from the made in Japan models to the made in Indonesia models. Same thing with Jackson and Charvel. So I believe this big Squier label is holding Fender back. They sell thousands and thousands of Squiers a year, and I believe if they brought back the Squier Series and changed the logo to Fender on the headstock, those sales would probably double or triple, and people wouldn't think twice about playing a Fender Squier Series, something with the Fender logo on the headstock, instead of the Squier. And I'm not talking about the Squier by Fender that they've done on some of the past models. I mean, this should say Fender on it. Now, I bought this guitar a couple of months ago and I unboxed it. right here on the channel for all of you to see. And there were a couple of small issues. There was some fret sprout. The fretboard was dry. These are little things. The ability to treat the wood and put out thousands of guitars a day or by these factories is not the same as it was years ago. So these are things that are more likely to happen. And I can tell you there's a local music store near here that's a Fender dealer, authorized dealer. And I've played American Fenders in that store with the same issue. Terrible fret sprout, dry fretboards, action out of the box that you could drive a car under. So it's not like the American Fenders or even the made in Mexico Fenders now are coming any better quality control wise as the Squiers. In fact, some people would say that the highest end Squiers, the classic vibes, will rival the quality of the made in Mexico Fender players. And I haven't had a classic vibe on the channel, but those people aren't necessarily wrong. So this is just an opinion from a guy with a few hundred subscribers on YouTube. Nobody's really going to care about it. But I'm curious to know. I'm curious what you think. Would you be more likely to buy a Squier if it had Fender on the headstock and maybe Squier Series written, someplace small on the headstock? Let's discuss. Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.